All right, so breakfast was good. This little spot called, it's called the Breakfast Club. It was good. Now I'm on the phone with American Airlines right now and trying to figure out some flight shit. But yeah, on to NC Fit, their Campbell location.
What the fuck though? California.
This is corporate headquarters for you guys.
Yeah. Finance, design, programming, all kinds of stuff over there. And then, so we started off with the one space next door, and then we shifted, and we took on this space. And so this is space number 2, right?
Is that built into your lease? Did you know you were going to do this, or it just worked out to get the first right of refusal on it, or?
Well, kind of. So, no, we took over that first, and these spaces are expensive.
Yeah.
But one of the problems we found is that our membership acquisition over there wasn't exactly what we were looking for. We were a little bit off target. And I think one of the reasons why is because we didn't have showers.
Got it.
So we came in and we started building out, you know, all our showers and stuff. City ordinance, all those different rules, because they'll come in, dude, and they'll just shut your ass down.
And especially in a retail spot. If you were in a warehouse in the back of a industrial complex, less likely.
Yeah, you cause less attention to yourself.
Correct, but still.
But one of my main challenges with gym owners is a lot of them have signed personally guaranteed leases.
Put a PG on it.
In a warehouse space, and they're not zoned properly. So the city comes in and asks them, they're screwed.
Oh yeah. You need to keep the standing wall and just doors open.
Yeah. So the model here is 2 classes concurrently during peak hours, and you know, this is really this is really where we see the model going for us. I mean, you saw it in Mountain View. So the problem with that one is we went a little bit too small in the 2 spaces. So now, I don't know if you noticed, but we knocked into another space. So we're gonna knock down the center wall and make that a bigger space.
Yeah, the biggest difference there is the demographic of these members, right? Those members want to do CrossFit style classes, big community style workouts, right? They want there to be like 30, 40 deep in a class. And so we want to set up the floor so it's conducive towards that. Whereas here we have much more of a split of like NC 30, NC 45 classes and CrossFit classes. So.
You know, so what happens is we're shutting down a location this weekend.
Okay.
And we're consolidating the one by the airport. It's 16,000 square feet. It's just too big. And we ran into some city problems and stuff. We had fought it for a lot of years.
It's just not worth it anymore.
Yeah, and so what we're doing is we're closing that one and we're consolidating the members between our other locations, which actually in the long run will, you know, create better business trajectory where we want to go, what we want to do. We're moving a lot of the coaches over, but we're ramping up the class schedules. And so until this one actually shuts down on Saturday, we've had a couple of our coaches had to help out a little bit more than usual, which is good for me because I don't coach as much as I like to. And so it's nice when they asked me to step in. I was like,
hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, dude, I need to come back and grab an assault bike for Mountain View for our videos.
Yeah, and these bike ergs need to go up. We need to bring in at least 5 bike ergs prior to Monday.
Oh, fuck it.
That'd be great, man.
I'm going there right now. So I got some.
How many bikes do you think you can fit?
I don't know, bro. Maybe 3 and an assault bike.
Okay, me and Steven will help you load up. Just pull up to the second suite.
Okay, I'm turning around right now.
This is exactly what. This is the real fucking work.
It's like
you don't have some fucking glass NC Fit castle you sit at.
No,
no, fucking hauling bikes.
There's no glass NC Fit castle. And you know what? I don't think I'd want it to be that way.
What fun would that be?
For example, today, if you think about like so far my schedule. So last night I got home from San Diego at 10 o'clock, and then I was doing some cool interviews and stuff there. This morning I coached 5 a.m., coached 6 a.m., went home. It's my son's birthday actually, so I went and brought him a smoothie, and then I did some podcasts for something called Coffee with Khalipa. I did a few of those.
Short form?
Yeah. and then did an intro for Lauren Fisher's podcast, and then basically I'm here with you.
Yeah.
But that's like the real deal, you know. The other day I was talking to a gym owner, and he was asking me, he's like, "What's the secret? This and that." And I was like, "Dude, there's really no secret. You just gotta get after it every day." And I think that is the secret.
Yeah.
You know,
you're constantly cramming 10 pounds into a 5-pound bag at all time, and some guys can do that really well with finesse. And
well, and the reality of the situation is, man, we're in a tough industry.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Like, I mean, for example, we have our office above our gym. And it's fucking loud.
Yeah. And it's so that was it. It's like nobody. I mean, even vibration. It's like Jurassic Park in there. Like people's coffee's just trembling.
Yeah.
So you know, it was when I brought the coffee company in, because I don't own the coffee company. I sublease space to the coffee company.
Smart.
Better, because I don't know shit about coffee except that I like it.
It's very smart. So you own the building.
I own the building, correct?
And then you have the gym.
And I put the gym in there, correct?
And then the coffee shop you sublease.
I sublease that, and I sublease to a spin studio. So we have a spin studio next there as well called Ride or Die.
How big is the building?
10,500.
Yeah. I wish, you know, looking back on it, bro, like if I just could have bought real estate earlier on, it would have been great.
This is a different market though.
Oh,
this
dude.
is insane.
Bro, I mean, dude, the rent on the space that we just left is $23,000 a month.
The thing is, when Glassman threw out the garage gym article he wrote, we're good into the warehouses, high ceilings, blah, 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 it was also, you got to think of the timing, it was 2008.
Dude.
People were giving away fucking year-long leases.
Dude, the thing about it is, like the high ceilings, garage, I mean, bro, it's
Sure.
amazing for what we're doing, right?
Yep.
However, the industry has shifted in boutique fitness
100%.
towards, with Orange Theory, F45, chomp at the bit.
Yeah, there's white space. Like I think there was a lot of white space with CrossFit. So when CrossFit hit, when I started really following in 2006, and then there was really a Globo Gym kind of gym. Curves had been the most successful franchise prior to that, and it was just circuits. But there were smaller Globo gyms, and there were personal training studios. That was pretty much and there were yoga studios, but there was all this white space. Now you have this Globo Gym, and then there's a CrossFit microgym kind of model, and then there's now, I think the new white space is in between a CrossFit and an Orange Theory. I think that's where the white space, because it is not an always logic jump to go from Orange Theory, where I've never touched a barbell, I only run row and use TRX and dumbbells, to barbell.
Yeah.
It's a logic jump for some. Some people are like, you know what, I need to step it up, I'm going, and Orange Theories will be great feeder programs for a lot of micro gyms and CrossFit affiliates, but it's not a truly logical next step.
So here's the way I looked at it. I found that the market created this giant, you called it white space, I just called it a gap, right? And I think about it like a ladder. At the bottom of the ladder is limited complexity, limited variance. At the top of the ladder is, let's just call CrossFit Games. A lot of complexity, a lot of variance in terms of fitness. Then there's margins across the whole gamut. So what we did to combat that is that Orange Theory, F45, and Barry's kind of hit this middle ground where they have more complexity and variance in the traditional gym, more coaching, but not as much as CrossFit, so they weren't as intimidating, right? So we have NC30, NC45, and NC60 to combat that. Greg Glassman came to the table and said, hey, we're all about power output. We're all about increased work capacity across broad time and modal domains, and that's how we improve our overall fitness. And I'm like, okay, I can wrap my head around that. The problem we run into is that if people don't come in consistently enough, they never develop capacity in certain movements.
Correct.
So when I have them come in, let's just say our gym snatches once a week.
Okay.
Well, if the average person, let's just say, in some people, you miss that one, let's just say only come in twice a week. It's going to take them forever to ever become competent because they don't spend enough time on it. I would make the argument that if my mom only came in 3 days a week, she's better off squatting than she is PVC
100%.
piping,
overhead squatting,
overhead squatting,
100,000%.
right? And
that's one thing that drew me to CrossFit, obviously, was the programming methodology, but then as the business grew and I started looking at the landscape and really traveling and going around and getting what I felt a better idea as to what the market wants, nobody's walking in with, I want to do an Olympic lift. Like literally when we rebranded and I structurally changed Urban Movement, we pulled out every variation of an overhead squat or snatch. I mean, even the clean, the hang, we do a hang power clean, we do a hang clean, we do a push press. That's it. There's no push jerk, really, there's no split. We took out everything that give me the basics, the meat and potatoes, pressing vertically and horizontally, squatting, 99, everything we do is a front-loaded front squat kind of variation, no back squats. We just took out all these movements that decreased the amount of equipment we needed, decreased the level of skill needed, and we had some clients hate it and they left. Yep. And then we had clients that showed up and were like, oh my God, this is the best, whatever, you're always gonna have that. Yeah, I think, going back to that, that gap and the white space in there, I think the other thing where what people are seeing, those models that have crazy high volume, you walk into a Barry's, there is no there's no chalk talk. You literally get right on a treadmill. Right. And they tell you, just start running, get warm. Like, you're literally moving for the entire class. So our version of this class, that kind of style, we just call Just Move. You come in and you literally get going. Like,
which is very favorable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And like, there have been times where I take we have clients that are like, man, I love your lift and move class, but man, today is just a crazy, I need a Just Move class. I'm not trying to game a workout. I'm not trying to think about a strategy. I just need to just move. And I think there's a lot of merit to that in a very busy, convenience-filled world where people are just, it's speed, speed, speed. Have you had problems on the branding front? People like, what's the difference? I get the 30, 45, 60 being a minute duration, or are you able to just really quickly show easy, moderate, difficult, like that kind of thing?
It's like, hey, this has more complexity and more movements. I've just seen too many people just move too poorly and develop poor motor patterns. Yeah. I'd rather just give them a dumbbell and let them grip it and rip it.
So for NC Fit, I know obviously you guys have the international, but do you ever take the actual brick and mortar fitness spot into, like, we're going to be in Chicago, LA, New York?
So right now, I think because of where the industry is going, what we need to do is we need to refine, get smaller.
Sure.
Like consolidating that one location and bringing the members to our other ones. Really optimizing, right? Creating as much profitability as we can. Once all of these locations like really pumping, then we'll be open to additional locations, which generally I'm going to say is probably going to stay in the Bay Area.
Yep.
I mean, running a location alone is tough. Running it from across the country is even tougher.
Sure. Yeah, well, you can't just pack up the truck and take those CrossFit gym that's not going to open up multiple, because you have a volume-based model, right? You have multiple locations. You probably run on smaller margins because you have full-time staff in there, but you have multiple locations.
Yeah, and we're owner-operated.
And correct, you're corporately owned. Yep. So do you ever grow this thing to the point where you're then looking for a VC purchase or someone who wants to take it, whether it's the NC Fit, the digital side, or the brick and mortar, or is it just stay corporate owned?
The way we look at it is because we're not owner-operated, our profitability is a little bit different, right? Sure. Because if I was coaching, four classes a day or whatever, we wouldn't be paying a manager a huge salary.
Yes.
As of right now, I didn't start the company to sell it. I started it to provide for my family and whatnot. We're 11 years in, and we're just kind of moving and flowing with the industry.
I think it's difficult too, because like when, American Airlines doesn't brag to me that their planes don't fall out of the sky, right? They don't brag to me that their seats are more comfortable, anything like that. Like, there are things that people expect. And I think that's the hardest thing with the CrossFit affiliates is they all found a methodology they fell in love with. And most of these gyms are passion purchases. Oh, yeah. Meaning they were like, you did the Globo Gym thing for a while. That's all I ever did is fitness. And so like there was a trajectory that makes sense. But how many gym owners were they were in dentist school 3 years ago. They lost 40 pounds and they made a passion purchase to become an affiliate owner.
Right.
Where, could we just say for a second, you've been running the business and you're probably not a fitness professional yet. Outsourcing the programming, the prescription writing of the fitness might be a wise thing, just like you're not a CPA, nor are you a web designer. You probably outsource those things. Right.
Even if you are a good programmer, how much is that programming driving your return versus creating a marketing strategy, following up with email leads, tracking cancellations, all that kind of stuff. That's what that's the argument I'm making.
Mike Michalowicz, he wrote a book called The Pumpkin Plan. He also wrote a book called Clockwork. He talks about preserving your QBR, your queen bee role. What is the one thing that'll make the biggest difference to change the trajectory of your business? And for most of us, it's sales and marketing and lead generation, whatever that may be. It's not the programming.
Right.
The programming is a subjective measurement of our business. And the thing I think that's hard for a lot of gyms, if you ask them, I always do this kind of thing. Imagine you and every other gym in the city are standing on a stage and you're inside of an arena and all of your potential clients are sitting in the stands, all tens of 20s of hundreds of thousands of them. And everyone has to stand up and they get 1 minute to explain why I'm different and why you should check me out. My always fear is that every CrossFit gym is just going to stand up and say the coaching community and programming is awesome. And when everyone says that, it no longer becomes special. Just like United or American Airlines, the plane's not falling out of the sky. That's what I expect. So looking at all the things the gym expects or a customer would expect, great, you have those, meet those, exceed those. But nobody talks about the things they expect. They talk about the things that were unexpected. That's like the idea of the place to work and work out. That was my entire thing. I was like, my clients, what if I brought something that no one else is doing? What if I put like a cool Starbucks, less corporate-y, more mom and pop right inside of this gym space and there was this free in this class? would that be something they didn't expect? And that's one of my things is, you know, when gyms were also incestual. Why did we all charge $150 in the beginning? Because that's what the first guy charged.
Right.
Why do we all put the Killcliff Rogue banners up? Because we all had shitty looking walls in our warehouses. That's what we saw some guy do. You know, getting these CrossFit affiliate owners forums and people just kind of copying and rinsing and repeating, which is perfectly good and fine. It just makes things that it doesn't look unique. And like you go into a spot like yours and you have this modern micro gym version that a lot of people are now putting aesthetics behind. Like 7 years ago, nobody would have spent time, money, and energy in their front desk and their aesthetics. That is now a thing now.
Right.
People are putting more time and energy into aesthetics, branding, first impressions, you know, things like
you
that.
Have to.
You have
and
to.
I think the biggest thing that a gym needs to think about is what is their story and what is their brand and what do they stand behind. And I think that to your point, if you're an educated consumer and you're going around, you're checking out different places, they're going to care about the friendly face that greets them and how much you make them feel that you care about them and their trajectory, right? But more importantly than anything is that whether you go to Starbucks in Charlotte or you go to Starbucks in California,
Same latte.
It's the same latte.
Yep.
And you might have a better or a worse barista that's going to make your experience significantly better or worse, but it's going to fall within a certain category. And to me, I think what's really important is how do we have all of our coaches singing from the same sheet of music so that they're making the same latte?
That consistency, I think, is one of the things. So it creates a consistent product. So 5:30 a.m. is the same as 5:30 p.m. Because again, when you do that as a business owner, yes, you are insulating yourself so that if that star coach ups and leaves, you have a game plan that you can hand off to someone else. Like consistency and being able to replicate coaches and staff, because turnover is going to happen, right? And I mean, yes, the latte is the same. And I might love Jason, the barista, at my favorite Starbucks, but if he moves and goes on to do something else in life, I really do like that latte. And I know it's the same. I can count on it every single time. I'm really big into class narratives. I look at what Orange Theory did, and the reason I think, you know, you look at the treadmill. The treadmill is the safe house. You know this from giving tours at Globo Gym. We always put the cardio equipment up front because that's the most accessible, universal piece that everybody recognizes.
Absolutely.
Orange Theory took the most boring, stereotypical piece of equipment, the treadmill, and made it cool again, made it popular again, and so people could walk in, they see a line of treadmills, like, oh, I can do that.
Totally accessible.
Yeah, and the narrative makes
100%.
sense. If you were to watch an Orange Theory workout and how people rotate and through that, the workout would make sense. Unfortunately, I think, you know, with just the nature of a CrossFit, if you're looking at a 20-minute chipper, and like, why is that guy swinging a bell? That guy's on the pull-up bar. That one's doing a deadlift. That one's jumping on a thing. CrossFit workouts can look more chaotic. Now we understand that there's plenty of beauty behind that chaos, and there's a clean story. But to the market, like when people first come in and they see their first CrossFit workout, it's intimidating for a reason. Just aesthetically, from the visual, it's a crazy narrative.
Yeah,
it really is. You get there during the coaching piece and the warm up, real good. Once that Metcon hits, though, that's where that narrative can get very intimidating.
Well, that's why I think as an intro to our program, you know, we either do one-on-ones or we invite people to NC30 or NC45.
That's, you know, where, you know, I'm a big fan of CrossFit gyms doing PT first, especially if they're not going to go a model like yours where it's multiple locations kind of scenario. If you're going to have your one and you're going to have between 150 and 200 members, you're going to need that second revenue stream of, you know, outside of just membership dues only.
That's an area where we're going to start incorporating PT in June. So we do PT for intros, but we've traditionally, when we do PT, we just give all the money to the coach.
Yep, sure.
But they have to be a member of the gym, and then they could, you know, whatever.
Yep.
But we are going to start selling PT for our coaches. And originally I was super against this because I didn't want to dip into their pocket. I wanted them to make more money.
But you're procuring the interest.
That's right.
I'm a big fan of you teach in a one-on-one setting and then you coach in a group setting, meaning someone in the group setting has already audibly recognized the exercise and you do it okay. And then you can make it better. But God, we all know what it's like to have a class of 80% experienced people, and then that one person comes in and you're just like, fuck.
You're all with them.
Yeah.
And so there's two notes on that though. Like, so with the PT, I think it's really important. Like, this took me a long time to wrap my head around, is that our coaches will actually make more money. Because I used to think like, oh, okay, hey, you know, John, you know, you get whoever you want to get and you take all that money and more power to you.
Sure.
The problem is these guys, they're not traditionally salesmen, or they don't really know how to they don't know how to find those people.
Yeah.
And so for us, if we sell the PT now and then we distribute it out to them, I think they're gonna make twice the amount of money, even if we are taking a cut.
And it's payroll, so what we do is 45% goes to the coach, the 30% goes to the business as a profit margin, 25% is put away for Uncle Sam, overhead, all that BS. Like for me, we're $190 a month. There's nobody that can't spend $350 up front in 5 PT sessions at $70 a pop but can have $190 a month taken out of account. Economically, that person doesn't exist.
Right.
Oh yeah, take $190 out every month like Netflix, but I don't have $350 right now.
Right.
When you look at the retention of a gym that goes kind of this PT first kind of route, give it 18 months, where the average person, by the time they've hit class, they've spent 5 hours one-on-one. You remember the days, because I had this too when I first started off, I still had a lot of one-on-one clients. Those were the clients that took me courtside to sit next to Michael Jordan whenever my Cavaliers came to play in Charlotte. Yeah. Those are the clients that like would do anything for you. Your one-on-one clients.
Yeah.
You had a different relationship when you actually spent a full hour. I don't care how good the coach is, in a 15 to 25 person class in an hour, you're really spending what, 65 to 90 seconds per like individual with them.
Yeah.
So now you've got this relationship of 5 hours, and then they hit class. There's no one that's spending however much your PT first is up front, and then no, I'm not going to do the gym. No.
So everybody knows what we're doing. Notice it's really hard to get this back angle very flat, especially for athletes who maybe are having a harder time with the mobility, right? So
You mess with the VersaClimber at all?
I have.
I think that'd be like 6 years ago, nobody had a ski erg in their gym, and now that's a mainstay. I think Z-Bex just came out with one, but I think if someone can get that price point down from what VersaClimber charges, I think that's the next erg piece of equipment you'll see in a microgym.
I think so too. We haven't purchased any like self-propelled runners.
Sure.
We just can't justify the space.
Not in California. Not with the outside being amazing.
Right.
You had a gym in Detroit, maybe.
And so the VersaClimber I think is cool because it gets close to the wall.
Yeah. It's the same footprint as a skier.
Knees come in before his arms. So pause right here, right? He's got his arms into his chest, his knees are coming out. And what this is going to require him to do is bring the chain or the handle up and around his knees.
Here with Evan, we have a great workout in store for us today. Now we have a 20-minute opportunity to work up to a 1 rep max heavy snatch.
This is, and unfortunately, you'll be the breeding ground for the CrossFit gym that rebrands is a multiple location, volume-based model, and you're gonna have to fuck it up. You're gonna do all the fuck ups and everyone's gonna learn from. For the guys that are like the 10-year affiliates that are making it, there's also an ascension. Like at some point, like I'm opening the second location, not necessarily, I want to, but my GM, who's been a GM of mine for going on 9 years, I need a second location so I can have an ascension for her.
I'll tell you a problem that you might not have realized. You probably have. Let's take this location, right? I'm saying it does, let's just say the numbers I was telling you.
Yep. And that's not where we want to be.
Sure.
With this new expansion, we need to do better.
Yeah.
With those two spaces, we are pretty much kind of hitting it.
Yeah.
Now that we're opening this, we need to be
You have
doing
higher
better.
expectations though.
Of course. But the problem is like the issue that a lot of owners can get into. Let's just say your gym is doing well. What's well to you? Like, I don't know, let's just say it's bringing in 500 grand a year.
Sure.
Right?
At a 20% margin.
Right.
Yeah.
You're doing well. Who buys a gym for $500,000 and what does your exit look like?
100%.
So you're pulling in 6 figures, which is good.
Sure.
Right? But one day you want to transition out.
Yeah.
One day and so where do you go?
Yeah.
That's why I think consolidation might occur in our industry, because let's just say you get the whatever gym, they become underneath one brand. Now a private equity firm can come in and rebrand them all. And there's an opportunity for the owners to get out.
Exactly.
That is one thing that I don't think we've recognized enough.
And that's why I was asking you, are you to stay corporate owned, or, I mean, you're close enough to it here. You're probably 2 degrees of separation. You probably have some of the guys in this gym as members who would be the introduction man for some of those VC firms. And when do VC, like that's what happened with Equinox. Equinox bought in the Soul Cycle. So that was Soul Cycle's exit.
I think maybe 6, 7, 5 years ago, I probably didn't realize it enough. How hard the brick and mortar business is. And I think that we had seen success with our gyms because at the time CrossFit was growing. There was people that were seeking it out.
It's a Google
and
board.
we were able to get lower costs.
Yep.
But now, because of all the saturation in the industry, not only from CrossFit gyms,
Sure.
but all the other gyms, it's not the same as it was. You don't just open your doors and have hundreds of members, let's just say.
Yeah.
And I do think that if anybody's pursuing a career in the fitness space, they really need to evaluate if a brick and mortar is the right avenue.
Yeah.
But I also think on the flip side, all these people are searching for digital. But I think it's really important that before you become a consultant or you become a digital person, that you have a brick and mortar. Like you're watching us film
100%.
videos in a gym where you're seeing members all over the place. So it's like like we went too small on these. Like
because CrossFitters have duffel bags with fucking $300 of gear, and you can't fit 3 pairs of Duins in there.
Yeah. And now you're spending.
We had to custom build ours and put in the phone chargers in them.
But now look at how much you're spending
per unit.
Oh, that's a good idea with the phone.
Yeah, we put the phone chargers in them, and then of course nobody fucking uses it. I'd say 1% charge it.
I know, but it is cool.
Yeah, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I'll see you in June in Portland. Son, how are you?
Oh, very well. Good workout?
Yeah, great workout. All right, so that was a lot of fun. Jason is a good dude. I love what he's created there. And the guy works really hard. So for a lot of you guys that think that, you know, when you've got a certain level of success, you just kind of hang out and kick up. Like, that dude coached the class today. He's hauling, you know, equipment back and forth to different gyms in the back of his truck. He's recording the videos for the NC Fit app. So, like, he puts in the work, but that's why he's got what he's got. So I hope you guys really pick that up. And Jace, if you're watching this, I apologize we didn't get a chance to do the podcast. I will I'll make sure that we get it done when I see you in Portland, Oregon for the Iron and Mortar Summit. If any of you guys are going to that, DM me. Would love to meet up. And anyway, yeah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time.